Da, 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 da. Enemy pursuit and using AI, and we'll come down a little bit. So on my game, I've decided my sheep isn't actually going to be an enemy. It's just going to move around at a slow pace, just like a sheep would randomly do in a field. But I have added a goat and a horse, which are actually going to chase me with a horse. So I am going to make sure, first of all, that my horse, which is down here on the left, has a rigid body. So you'll need to make sure you do this as well. I don't know why I right click on stuff. Gravity is set to 0. The freeze rotation is ticked as well for Z. And I've also made sure that I've added a polygon collider. That's where all those little green lines are on there. Now I'm going to add a script to this called enemy pursuit. As you can see, I've already got it typed there. And when it loads up, when we double click on it here, when it decides to just kind of get it started, there it is. So there's our enemy pursuit code. So all I'm going to do is get rid of those top two lines at the top. I don't think I actually need those in this example. And I'm going to copy this code across. So if you need to pause at this point to be able to type this out, by all means do so. So that's how it looks. So I'm going to save that, come back onto our Unity onto Unity. And I should then have a couple of things appearing over on the right hand side here. So I've got the enemy speed at currently is 0. So I'm going to just knock that to 3. And the other thing I've got to make sure I've done as well, because in the code it says about chase whatever the player is. So you've got to make sure that your playing character has actually got the tag player. If it's not, just click on the list and tick on it in. So when I press play, that enemy should now actually start making its way towards me, like it's doing there. And if I move away, it's still chasing me. And even if I go off the screen, look, well, off the screen or as far away as it can, it will keep pursuing me. And I can bump into it because obviously we haven't done it, so it'll kind of kill me or anything like that. Now, issue is, it's fine kind of come in that direction, but when I come this side of it, it's walking backwards towards me. So we kind of want it flipped then. So we're going to have a look at the codes, and I'm just going to zoom out so it's 125%, so it doesn't look so big on your screens. And I'm just going to add in a couple of little bits here. So I'm going to add this Boolean, which is basically going to say whether or not it's facing left or facing right, and it goes here. And it's only a couple of lines I need to drop in the update section, which will go in underneath this bit here. I think that's the right place to put it. Let me just double check. Yeah, that looks right. And if I save that and come back onto Unity and we let it kick in again, we press play, and the horse, this time the enemy that is currently facing us, but when we go the opposite side of it, look, it kind of turns to face the other way. Okay, so I can increase the speed on it so it is really chasing me around, that type of stuff. Now, one of the things is I don't want that enemy to come chasing me as soon as it can see me on screen. I want it so when I come within a certain distance, maybe that type of distance, it only then starts chasing me. And if I run away and get away from it, then it kind of stops until I come back towards it, if that makes sense. So this is where I wanted to talk to you about using AI. So you might have guessed in a couple of the other videos, especially the last video, there were things about kind of making the sheep move around I could do, like making it move between 2 points and making it flip. But when it got to the actual getting it to pause for 2 seconds, and especially the random movement, which is doing now, I use AI to help me. Now, I'm not trying to suggest that you kind of scrap any kind of thing you've been taught or you're trying to learn and just use AI for everything, because inevitably, when you use AI to kind of try to code a game right from the word go and you have no knowledge of what the code does, then you will eventually come into trouble, into problems, and things kind of go a little bit awry. So what I'm going to suggest you do, you kind of like go up to a certain point within like these videos, and if you want your kind of like enemy or your player to do something slightly different to what my videos are showing, then use AI to adapt the code. So what I am going to do is copy the code I've actually got here, which we know works fine at this stage, and I'm going to go on to AI. I've got ChatGPT open. I basically said, in Unity, how can this code be changed so that the object only moves towards the player when it is within a certain distance? And I kind of pasted it in there. Now, I'm not saying that's the perfect prompt, but I kind of like to write it out in full and try not to be overly kind of descriptive, not to confuse it then. So I've dropped in the code, I've pressed enter, and it should start to kind of process that. And it's starting to give me like some code. So it's writing code for me. And what's lovely about this is it allows you to copy the code straight from here once it's completed. I'm just going to make sure it is completed first. And it does give you some descriptions underneath as well in terms of this is what this is used for. So it is worth reading those bits and pieces and reading the pre-bit just to have an idea of what's going on. And I'm just going to copy that code then, and I'm going to paste it over the code I put on here. And I'm going to just look at it a little bit to kind of see what's going on. So it's using this vector 2 direction. So it is worth looking at things to make sure you've got an idea of it. I'm assuming when I get within distance of 5, that means that's when it's going to follow me. So let's go and have a look at that. So if I go and have a look at Unity now, first and foremost, you want to make sure there's no errors. And it's great sometimes because you can go back to AI and say, oh, this is wrong. Something's come up as an error. And then it'll go, oh, yeah, my fault, that type of thing. But anyway, this time when I press play, I don't think the horse is actually going to come at me at this stage until I get a bit closer. There we go. And it's starting to chase me. And it's actually when it gets to that distance there. And lovely, it's actually flipping around the other way as well. So it's actually doing everything I wanted to. But if it was a little bit wrong, for example, if the horse was facing the wrong way, then I would probably come back onto AI and say, that's great, thank you very much. However, it's facing the wrong way, and then it'll basically give you adapted code. So I'm not trying to encourage you to just use AI, but instead of watching maybe 20, 30 videos trying to find that one line of code or those 2 or 3 lines of code for your character, for your enemy, or whatever it is in your game you want to do, AI kind of cuts all that out. So it basically makes life a lot easier. So please read what comes with it. It doesn't have to just be ChatGPT. You could use Gemini, you could use Copilot. I haven't tried those myself with this, but it's well worth a go because sometimes you find them a bit easier to understand than others. But it is also worth kind of identifying what's been done. So always start with your own code, make sure that's working, and then if you need to make your work a little bit more complicated, then by all means do so. Now, there is one other thing I want to do because I'm going to start using AI now to try to get it so, and I'm not going to show what's going to give me, but I want it so this actually randomly moves around, the horse randomly moves around like my sheep is doing, but then when I do get close to it, it's going to come chasing after me. So I might, for example, in here say, this is a code I've got which is for random movements, but I want to merge it with the code which I've got for enemy pursuits. Can you do this for me? And then I'll trial and error the code it's going to give me. And I'll show you a little bit later if it works. Ta-da! So this is randomly moving. I know it looks a little bit odd, but it is actually randomly moving the place. Look, and if I get a little bit closer to it, it actually does start chasing after me, but it goes backwards. So I might message ChatGPT back to say, that's great, thank you very much, but it's facing the wrong way. So it is actually pursuing me. It's pursuing me really slowly. But what I'm going to do, rather than messing around with ChatGPT, I'm actually going to come onto here, and I think I have to change speed there, maybe up to 5. And this is me guessing a little bit. And the flip inside of things, and it's really nice to actually give me a comment. I think these actually just need to be the other way around, and this guy across here as well. So this is complete guesswork now. I'm not going to show, not sure if this will work. And if I press play, I've kind of disabled the sheep's movement because it kept on bumping into my horse and sending him flying. So this time he's going to move his normal speed. So I think the speed 3 on the side. Oh, there we go. Look, so he's moving a little bit faster towards me. And if I walk away, he's actually facing the right way. So I might need to change a little bit because it seems I wanted to kind of pause for a second before it carries on randomly moving around the place. But I can use ChatGPT to help me do that. So use AI as much as you can. Now, next few videos, I'm going to show you how to do things like how to get the enemy to kill me and how I can kill the enemies as well. A couple of other things, maybe a start screen, how to export the video, that type of thing as well. And anything you need to add on top of those, use AI to help you, and that's what it's there for.